Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nancy. Thank you so much for watching. Today I will be starting a top 5 series where I talk about 5 of my favorites, lipsticks, eyeshadow palettes, blush, foundations, all of that. And I really want to talk about it. And today, as you can read in my title, I will be talking about my top 5 favorites palettes. I was gonna start with the lipsticks first, but then, you know, lipstick is my favorite part of makeup, so I was very indecisive when it comes to lipsticks, so I thought I should start talking about palettes first, because palettes are, well, eyeshadow palettes are very crucial to my makeup routine as well, so of course I want to talk about it. But it might be repetitive because I will be mentioning 2 palettes that I had already talked to you guys about before, but the first one is, of course, I had mentioned in my last video already, and it is the Mali's Nude Attitude palette. And of course I had talked about why I love this palette. It was a favorite for August, so yeah, I think this is definitely one of my favorite palette because of the color range. Like, that's the reason I love palettes, because I just love the color range that comes within it. So I already talked about how this was my favorite color, and it's russet. So yeah, I think this is just a very versatile palette, as in all other palettes that I will be talking about, but it's just very pretty, and yeah, I love it. And these palettes that I'm gonna talk about are definitely palettes that I use often. I alternate between a lot. So, and the other one is, of course, the Morphe 350 palette, and that's a very talked about palette, and of course it is in my top favorite. Especially since fall is coming up, I cannot wait to start using these warm tone color again. I just love it so much. I'm not really going to go into too much details about these palettes because I had already talked about it before. So yeah, this was a very sought out palette, as I mentioned before in my previous videos. And it's just so beautiful, and you have to get your hands on it to understand why it's such a very good palette. And the next palette is the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. I know this is also a lot of people's favorite palette as well, because look inside this bad boy right here. Too Faced is a very good brand, so their eyeshadows are just on point to me, and I just can't stop using it. This palette smells so good, like chocolate. I cannot stop smelling it. It's just so good. The color is just right up my alley. These are my colors. These browns, these warmer tone, and these purple berries. Like, I just love these colors. And they're also very pigmented. See? This berry one is cherry cordial. Look how nice that is. And then, of course, I love these shimmer ones, and I love this one. It's a marzipan. I love this one so much. Marzipan. Can you see it? Oh gosh. It's a very nice white. Ooh, it's so soft too. Very nice white. Ooh, look at that swatch. Look at that. So pretty. I love putting that on my inner corner, on my brow, on the arch of my brows. It's just so pretty, and I use that a lot. As you can see, I made a little dent in that. And of course, I love this salted caramel. It's so good for the transitioning of my shadows. And yeah, it's just this is just a beautiful color. I love this palette. Out of the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette, I love this palette the most, and I just can't stop looking at it and smelling it. And the next palette I want to talk about is the Anastasia Self Made Palette. And this is also a favorite palette of mine. Okay, this palette is very dirty. Well, all my palettes are dirty because I use it so often. So here is the palette. Isn't it beautiful? This color range is just awesome. I just fell in love with this palette when it first came out, because of the color range, of course, of the color range. And I've never tried any Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow before, but I've heard that the quality of it is very good. So, of course, a palette with Anastasia's shadows, of course I was gonna have to get it. But yeah, these colors are just so pretty. I definitely love pink champagne. As you can see up here, I made a dent on there. And yeah, I also use this one a lot, which is Self Made. So let me just swatch this rose champagne one for you guys. So shimmery and pink, and it's just so pretty. It's this one right here, and just how nice is this? And then of course the Self-Made one, which I definitely love. It's like a very brown gold. Okay, with these palettes I think my hands are gonna be full of swatches. There you go. Very nice color right here. Definitely love. I used this shadow for like a whole month, and as you can see, it's like a dent on there. But of course there's these other ones too, like Sherbert. These orangey ones I definitely love for transitioning my shadows. And of course Treasure, love these white pop of shimmers. It just goes perfect in the inner corner of my eyes just to bring it up. And the amount that we have to pay for this palette is so good. The qualities of these shadows are so good, and I think it's like 40 bucks. All Anastasia's palettes are like 40 bucks. Even the new Modern Renaissance one is like $42, and like you get these beautiful eyeshadows, and they're so good quality, and that's why I love it. That's why it's one of my top 5, because it's just so pretty. And yeah, just look at it and admire it, you guys. And last but not least, my very last palette that is in my top 5 is very dirty. Please beware of the dirtiness, and it is the Lorac Mega 2 palette, or Lorac Mega 2 Pro palette, however you like to say it. But yes, this is the best ever. But just wait until you look inside. I'm pretty sure you guys, all beauty lovers, have seen the inside of this beautiful palette. And I've showcased this palette like a couple of times on my social media, on Snapchat, on my Instagram. I've talked about it before. And how pretty is this? It's like I fall in love with it every time I open it and I use it and I look at it. And Lorac just makes the best high pigmented quality eyeshadows ever, and it's so smooth and creamy, and every time I dip my hand into it I'm just like, oh my gosh, I just wanna keep blending it. Look at that, oh my gosh. Ooh. Oh my god, it's pretty big. So, and the quality and the amount that we get for this palette is totally worth it. And I know Lorac's coming out with another Mega Pro, the 3rd one, because there was the first one and I missed out on that first one, which made me so sad because the colors in there were also very beautiful. And I know Lorac's eyeshadows are just amazing because I've had a palette of theirs before, and it's just so nice and pigmented and just so beautiful and blendable. And I used every lick of these colors, so I have dipped my hands into every one of these colors before, like no joke. And you can see like bits of these pans being touched, and it's just a very versatile all-around palette, and it's very good for travels. I've traveled with this palette alone, and I can create so many different looks with it. Look, just how many looks can you create just by looking at this, right? It's just so pretty. I just love it. And yeah, there's mattes and shimmers and warm tones and cool tones, and this is just an all-around palette, and this is clearly why it's in my top favorites, because it is just such a very good quality palette. I just can't stop looking at it, you guys. It's so pretty. Okay, well, enough talking about this palette. But yeah, those are definitely my top 5 favorite palettes. And just look at the pigments of these palettes. It's just so pretty, and this is why they're my top favorites. It's because they're so nice. The quality is just so good and very blendable. They all have the same traits. They're very blendable, high pigmented, very good quality. Yeah. But yeah, those are definitely my top 5 favorites. Stay tuned for my top 5 favorite lipsticks. I will be talking about those. And yeah, that's all I have for now. Thank you so much for watching my video. Thank you so much to all of you who always continue to love and support me and subscribe to me. It's very appreciative, and I just don't know what else to say, but thank you so much. And I just love putting out content for you guys, and I just love talking about makeup. So if you do too, then please subscribe and like my videos. Yep. I'm just so excited for this. So yeah, thank you so much. I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye.